Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome all of you and our Star Alumni Nischay to the first episode of Estero Star Alumni series. This series is aimed towards introducing our alumni who took up the challenge of studying overseas and made New Zealand their new home. I remember meeting Nischay at one of our, university admissions day a couple of years ago with one of his friends, and he was very nervous and confused about where to go to study, what is the best choice for him to take as a program. And looking at him today, he is a story for us that makes us feel proud. Hi, Nischay, how are you doing?
Hello, pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, Nischay. So, how's the weather in New Zealand? I'm sure you're enjoying a nice, beautiful summer.
Yep, but beautiful day today. Yeah, enjoying the summer. It's been nice couple of months here.
Nice. So, Nishay, I've been following your journey for the last 2 years, just enjoying the fact how you have made New Zealand as your new home. You have not only accomplished a lot academically, but you have really gelled up in the New Zealand culture. Watching you meet different cricketers involved in cricket, more or less. You've done internships, and whatever stories we have heard from the University of Auckland about you, it's all positive. So, first of all, I would like to really congratulate you for doing so fabulous in a new country and scoring a job in New Zealand. That's
Yeah,
really makes us proud because for us, our success is your success, and looking at you, accomplishing those dreams of yours really makes us proud of you.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And yeah, even I remember like meeting you at that festival in New Delhi, and yeah, it was like a life-changing decision for me.
Really good to hear that, Nishay. So, Nishay, what we are doing with the Star Alumni series is that we have students and professionals who are, in the same shoes as you were a couple of years ago. They are confused, or they would want to possibly know why New Zealand, why they should come and study engineering or go to University of Auckland.
Yeah.
And this, a campaign like this not only helps us help those students, but it also helps us give them the confidence that it is a challenge. But if you do the right things, you can definitely win and be successful against those challenges. So, Nishal, let's start from the very beginning. How did you decide to study overseas? What made you think of picking up an overseas destination to go for a higher education?
Yeah, so like I did my bachelor's in New Delhi, electrical and electronics engineering only, and yeah, I always wanted to like grow more, learn more, like visit more countries, like get to know about their cultures, and yeah, not only that, obviously, like from a study point of view, also like see how things are in different countries. So yeah, I always had that vision at back of my head. But yeah, after completing my bachelor's, like I worked for a couple of years in India because yeah, lots of like my mentors at that time, my teachers, everyone advised me, yeah, it's like even if you a lot of people come directly also, but yeah, for me it was like having a couple of years of work experience in India, and then yeah, I decided to do my masters, and yeah, finally got into University of Auckland.
Great, Nishay. So, when you must have a lot of fellow peers who are in the same batch as yours, and there might be, like you said, some people coming with work experience and some students who are coming straight out of colleges. Do you think
Yeah.
there's a big difference in the experience and the kind of outcomes you have achieved as compared to them?
Yeah, like it depends a lot like on an individual, what are the circumstances, but like for me what I think is like to be honest, like when an employer is hiring here, they like it again depends on the position, depends on the employer, but like most of the time it won't matter whether you have worked like for 1 year in India, 2 years in India, 3 years in India, or you are coming like directly after your bachelor's. It just like if you have experience in India, and like if you obviously perform well here, like for example, the case was me was while studying, I was doing an internship at that company, and at the same company I got my full-time job. So obviously when I must have done that 3 month internship in the summer period in my university break. So yeah, obviously like it would have been like my work experience definitely helped me to be professional, to be like I knew it was basically not my first job here in New Zealand. I had that like mindset before, so that really helps. But like from a hiring point of view, it just depends on the situation. Like obviously, if in that particular field you have got few years of experience, whether it be India or any different country, then obviously it helps. But like that's not to say that if you don't have a experience you won't get a job. Like that's obviously not the case.
Yes. When you were looking at studying overseas, why didn't you
Yeah.
look at doing your higher education from India itself? There are so many good universities in India as well, which offer master's degrees in engineering. So, what was the kind of factors that made you believe that going overseas to study is a better opportunity as compared to doing your masters in India?
Again, like the same thing I just said, like basically, it's very important to get out of your bubble, like not in the COVID times, but like in general, it's very important to get out of your comfort zone, is what I mean to say. And like, obviously, if you go to a place or a new country where like everything is new, you like obviously learn a lot more than you know. You have to do like basically you have to be a fully functional adult here, like getting like cooking yourself, cleaning yourself. Like obviously in India we can get like lots of help from different resources, but yeah, here like you have to do each and everything yourself. So yeah, those are the reasons. And obviously like studying from University of Auckland, like its ranking was good, like obviously in top 100 QS rankings in the world. So yeah, that was a good opportunity. My coach, like I had a look at it before. So yeah, like it was really like up to sync with what I wanted to do, like relate somewhere related to like telecommunications. Even my job in India was related to like telecommunications, 5G and all that domain. So yeah, coming here, like studying those courses with like yeah, like some of the best professors here in New Zealand. So yeah, all of that was really good.
And I remember when I met you for the first time, you were looking at some more countries. New Zealand was definitely not your first choice. So, what were the different countries that you had kind of chosen to go and study, and what made you take New Zealand as the final study destination to go for?
Yeah, so like I remember there were like I think three other countries other than New Zealand where I applied to. One was Australia, one was Ireland, and I think one was Japan. So yeah, like at the end of the day there are like 3 to 4 factors in like every student's list when it comes to like going overseas and studying. Number one is obviously the course, the job market there, what is it, how. Number two is like your university, so what's the ranking in New Zealand, what's the ranking worldwide, and things like that. Number three is obviously the fees. So for example, like I also got uh, offers from like a couple of other Australian universities, but like the fees there was like 2 or 3 times as compared to University of Auckland. So I think yeah, those are the 2 3 factors which drive you to make a good decision, or a decision which is like ticking all those boxes.
So, when we talk about New Zealand, and you've been in New Zealand for over 2 years now,
Yeah.
what is your first-hand experience of New Zealand as a country? We have a lot
Yeah.
of people who are looking at New Zealand as a study destination. But
Yeah.
before we talk about a country as a study destination, we would just want to know about your experience as an international student of being in a country that you're completely unaware of.
Yeah. Yeah, so New Zealand, like as everyone knows, like it's one of the most beautiful countries of the world. Like people are very warm and welcoming, and yeah, it feels like everyone accepts you, which is really nice. And talking from studying perspective, so even the professors at university, they were like always approachable, they were professional, always like ready to answer your questions, whether it be it in the class itself or just after the class, or even like you could go into their like meeting cabins and teacher rooms like whenever you wanted basically. So yeah, like quite open, quite friendly, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
So when you came to New Zealand, I'm sure the first few weeks would have been a very challenging time for you because you're
Yeah.
in so you don't know a lot of people. Like you said, you learn a lot of life skills. In India, you
Yeah.
have all kinds of help. You've got your family to support you.
y-
And as
yeah.
soon as you move to a new country, you find yourself alone. You find yourself in a situation where you're homesick, and you have
Yeah.
accommodation. You have to cook. You have to manage the university studies, etc. So, how difficult were those first few weeks for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I always remember those weeks, and yeah, that was I think the toughest period in my last 2.5 years in New Zealand. Like first couple of months, especially the first couple of weeks. Yeah, it was very helpful to have you here. I remember you only booked accommodation for me for the first week. So yeah, that was really nice. uh from other things point of view, so yeah, it's like first 6 months are kind of difficult because masters is like not like bachelor's, which is like a 3 or 4 year course. It's just like 6 months of first semester, 6 months another semester. So yeah, so basically, it's kind of challenging in terms of accommodation. Obviously, like it's very difficult to find a good accommodation if you don't get a university of accommodation. So it's basically like in India, to relate it with India, like you call a broker, and yeah, broker shows you 5 options and you can pick anyone you want. But here it's totally different. Here, like the broker calls you, and it's like a viewing time. You go to that place, there are 10 other people viewing at that same apartment with you, and yeah, all of whoever likes it fills an application, and it just depends whether the landlord or that broker will select your application or not. So yeah, like it sometimes is a bit challenging to get an accommodation, but obviously like it's not impossible. You get it, it might take an extra week or couple of extra weeks, but yeah, once you get it, you adjust yourselves. Then yeah, obviously like you were saying, like getting used to like cooking, buying groceries, doing your laundry yourself, at the same time doing a part-time job, and making sure you are like right on the top of your university studies too.
So, as a country, talk about being in New Zealand, how accessible and how comfortable it is for a student to be in accommodation, manage a part-time job, and side by side look after the daily household chores and study at the same time. And I can tell you from my experience as well, being from University of Auckland, it's very compact as a city. You've got the university and your grocery stores and your accommodation, which is quite close. So, what is
Yeah.
your take on this? How accessible has it been for you as an international student?
Yeah, like luckily I found my accommodation just like walking distance from the university, so which was really good, just like a 10-minute walk. And yeah, so you like there are like few 2 or 3 or 4 classes every day depending on your timetable and your like course. And yeah, so attending those classes, and the good thing about is the classes, like for example, there would be a day or 2 days in a week where you will have like only one class or only two class or no class. So those were the days you can go for your part-time jobs and stuff during studying. Obviously Saturday and Sunday are the two other days where you can go for the part-time jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, like that is how I used to balance my work and my studying periods. And obviously like if in the universities there are like 4 or 5 classes in a day, so the remaining, so that is only like 4 or 5 hours, but like remaining day I used to like study. I used to make sure, because next day, even if there I don't have a single class, I'll be busy with my job, so I need to make sure that I was on top of my courses like the same day or during like lectures and stuff.
So I'm sure in your classroom there must be so many students. Some students came through XYZ agents. Some students must have applied directly and sorted their visas out. So there are three questions that I really want to ask you, which kind of focus on the transition of a student from
Yeah.
India to New Zealand. One
Yeah.
is, how important do you think it is for a student to have an official representative slash a consultant to look
Yeah.
after the visas and guide you towards what is right for you?
Yeah. So like very important, like I don't even think like if you guys would not have been there, I would have come to New Zealand, to be honest. Like it it was basically like I still remember like end to end support in terms of like answering all the questions about New Zealand, about the university, helping with the application form of the university, the visa process, and each and everything. So yeah, like as I said, like I cannot even imagine uh, like for me to come here like without help of an educational consultant. Because yeah, when you are in that lifestyle like working in India, it's very difficult to like, obviously you clear your exams, the English exams, like whether it be TOEFL or IELTS or GRE. But like yeah, it 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 it's like very important, because you have no idea like if you fill an application form whether you'll be selected or not. But obviously having someone like you or Estero or any other travel agent, it definitely helps you like make right decisions. And yeah, like even the visa process, like if you apply from scratch and if you make mistakes, if it gets rejected or anything like that happens, then it's very difficult, like you go 6 months behind, or like you have to wait for another 6 months if anything like that happens. So yeah, having some help with people like you is really, is really important, I feel.
Has your experience with Estero been any different to your peers who have come through XYZ consultants? Has it been any different? You feel like, okay, I had this as an advantage, which the other students didn't, or probably they had something better than you?
Uh, I don't think so. Like anyone had like a better experience, because yeah, like there were a few people, few of my friends and colleagues who had a similar experience with their XYZ travel agent. But yeah, there were like even a lot of people I met here who had come through Estero only, which I did not knew at that time. But like I come to know before, even like 6 months before me or 6 months after me, and yeah, so like no major difference. But yeah, like even in the last couple of years, people whoever have asked me, so yeah, I've just passed on you guys information to them, because yeah, I have experienced that, so I obviously know it's been very helpful and very nice.
Thanks a lot, Nischay. So let's University of Auckland. How's the life at University of Auckland? University of Auckland being the number one university of New Zealand, ranking in the top 100 universities of the world.
Yeah.
And so, what has your experience been studying at one of the best institutions from New Zealand?
Yeah, so I came here in July 2018. So from New Zealand perspective, so that is like the second semester here. Like since summer is during this time, so the first semester starts in February and the second semester starts in July. So the thing with me was like all of my courses were like advanced courses, because like the basic courses are taught in semester one and advanced courses are taught in semester two. So yeah, like first couple of days it was a bit scary, because yeah, like I was also like not studying in India. It was like I was working in India after like it had been a while before I completed my bachelor's. So yeah, coming directly here, directly into the class, and yeah, so first couple of days when I saw those like teacher handouts and thing, I was a bit scared. But yeah, like I knew like yeah, I'll have to cope up with it, work hard every day, every single day to make it a success. So yeah, but like then after like as things progressed, after a couple of weeks, when you get to know your professors, when you get to know everyone, so yeah, things become a lot cool cooler, and yeah, you are able to like understand what's happening, understand things like that. And like I mentioned earlier, like the professors and all, everyone is here to help you, everyone is here to support you. So all of that mattered a lot. And it's not just like there will be a big exam at end of the semester and that will determine your grade. There are like small targets every couple of weeks. For example, there's an assignment. After 2 weeks there's a lab assignment, or after 2 weeks there's a small exam. So your basically your final grade forms through your work during your entire semester. It's not just that one-off big exam which will determine your 70 or 80% of the grade. So that's another thing, that you have to like be focused entire semester to get a good grade.
If we keep the academics on the side, how's the life at the university in terms of the resources, the support in finding a job, finding accommodation?
Yeah.
Yes. So, can you talk about your life at the University of Auckland?
Yeah, sure. So there are like 2 points I would like to highlight here. One was, I think, especially for engineering guys. So there's like a very in the engineering building, and there's a new engineering building now. So there's like a big area called Unleashed Space. So that Unleashed Space has like lots of equipments like 3D printing, laser cutting, and each and everything. So people like me who are like interested or curious about those things, you can like go there like anytime you want. Like understand those things from people working there. And yeah, like I use those things a lot. Like got like learned about 3D printing a lot, laser cutting a lot, how those things work, and yeah, creating demos for me also. So that was one good experience from an engineering point of view. From a career point of view, like I still am in touch with the career consultants of University of Auckland. So University of Auckland has a department called CDES. It's like career development and something. So yeah, it's a CDES. So yeah, so they organize like daily workshops, like 5 to 6 workshops on a daily basis, like checking your CV, bringing it to New Zealand standards, helping you prepare your cover letter, uh, giving you networking opportunities and things like that. So they help you a lot. Like even if you go to them and they say, you tell them, I have a job interview tomorrow, just can we practice, or they'll take your interview. So like there are like many things like that. They help you build your LinkedIn profile. They organize LinkedIn workshops too. So there are like lots of things CDES does to help you, support you. And yeah, if you are proactive enough to utilize all those resources and build your profile a lot better than other people, then obviously you will have a better hand at getting a job and things like that. And like there's an international counselor called John Dorado. So he's like one of my good friends, and still whenever he organizes some international student event at universities, he calls me as a speaker or as a just as an alumni to inspire or to talk to students there. So that's very motivating, because even back in 2018 when I attended that program he organizes called Workplace Insight program. So that's a very beautiful program where he divides students into batches of 5, and then talks to some workplace in New Zealand, and you get to go to that workplace, talk to that team. So I even went to like a workplace in New Zealand when I was studying, and yeah, it was really good experience to go there, talk to their company which I went to, and then yeah, understand a lot more about how New Zealand work culture, how is New Zealand work culture, and how things work in New Zealand, what we can do to get a better job or get a job. So yeah, all of these things done by CDES were really helpful in getting where I am today.
So one thing I really liked about how you put this answer forward is the word proactive, and we
Yeah,
keep to do that. Being in education, use and recognized agency, we can help you find the right university. We can help you find the right program. We can make sure that you tick all the right boxes. But at the end of the day, you have to be proactive enough to go out and help yourself. You have to
yeah,
meet the right people. You have to utilize the resources which are available at the university.
yeah,
Uh, New Zealand is not a country which believes in spoon feeding. So you have to be
yeah,
proactive yourself to network with the right people, and those things do matter quite a lot.
yeah.
In terms of teaching methodology, how different it is as compared to India? Is it like more practical in nature, more theoretical in nature? And how much importance is given to the self study part?
Yeah, so it's like from an engineering point of view, it's not too different. So there are like in India also there are like theoretical exams, practical exams. Here is also the same, but obviously like the methodology is a bit different. So like obviously the practical learning or practical thinking, what you were saying, so that's a lot more here. So in terms of, like I was saying before, so every week or every couple of weeks there are some assignments. So teach and students get like different questions all the time, so that they cannot like copy from each other. So like all of these teachers give a lot of thought on these things. For example, X student has to do this thing, but like other student has to do a completely different assignment, so that they can grade accordingly, and they know that each student has done this on his own or on her own. So, and yeah, like practical, we also used to have our practical exams, so which was also really like good here. Like so yeah, from a learning point of view, it was really good. Like from an engineering point of view specifically, there were like everything had an example. In teacher professors also used to have like a TA, teachers assistant. So even TA used to be very helpful with your work, and they used to like always help you, advise you, and what we can do to like get a better grade, or progress well in exams, especially during my master's thesis. So yeah, like not only TA, there was like another department who helps you like like who basically lets you know how you have to frame your report, because that report, your master's thesis report structure, is a lot different here as compared to India. So yeah, like all of those things, you'll have to be on top of it. You have to know about all those things, then only like you can succeed. Because like you were saying before, like there are a lot of students who did not even know about the CDES, the career consultant, that exists in University of Auckland after 1 year. So obviously, like if you won't even know it, you like it's your fault, it's no one else's fault. So yeah, you'll have to be on top of the things.
So you graduated and you're working today with one of the biggest augmented reality organizations. Can you tell us how you landed up in such a brilliant role and if you're enjoying your job?
Yeah. So like just when I finished my first semester, so during my first semester, I did a few part-time jobs. But yeah, like it was around November when the semester exams were about to finish. So October was the time I was applying to lots of internships and jobs, and yeah, trying to get something across the line, so that my November, December, January, which is like summer holidays in New Zealand, so those 3 months I could yeah gain some work experience, and yeah gain some yeah like good experience, so that even when I graduate or finish my university, like I basically have something to show, or something to yeah, because it's very important. Like employers here, when they'll see your CV, even if it's like a small 2 week part-time job, they'll look at it in a positive way, and they'll see, oh, even if you were like a brand ambassador or an event manager or like small jobs like that, they'll see, okay, this guy at least puts in the effort to do something along with his studies. So all of that was a positive sign. So yeah, I had few things like that in my CV along with my Indian job experience. So yeah, all of that things mattered, because from July to from October, in those 3-4 months also, I did like 3 or 4 things which I could include in my CV. And yeah, I had a couple of interviews with my company, and yeah, it's really cool. So working in augmented reality, it's been always my passion, even from my bachelor life. So yeah, working in that, and we work with lots of brands all across the world. So yeah, it's really nice and challenging, and yeah, exciting too at the same time.
I'm really glad to hear that, Nishra, because when I was studying at the University of Auckland, even I started working as an intern with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and finally that landed up into where I am today. So,
Yeah.
like, internships are really really important because you get to learn quite a lot, and
Yeah.
these opportunities take you towards your full time employment, or it
Yeah.
just brings out that zeal of doing something as an entrepreneur. So, how easy or difficult it is to find a job in New Zealand? This is like a $1 million question that every we get students who ask us, so what is the guarantee of finding a job? And I keep telling them that, see, anybody who starts giving you a guarantee of finding a job, I will not have a single moment to spend with you a line outside my office just because I'm
Yeah.
so guaranteeing a
Yeah.
job, marketing gimmick. So I really want to know from you how easy or difficult it is for a person to find a job, especially in the field of engineering.
Mhm. Yeah. So like again, there's no guarantee. Like you said, it just depends on the individual. How hungry is he? How flexible is he? I see a lot of students who come to New Zealand. They are like, I'll just focus on studies for next 1 year. I won't do anything. I'll just focus on studies. And then after 1 year, they are like sitting. They have no like New Zealand work experience on their CVs, and yeah, they are like a step back already if their thought process is like that. So yeah, first of all, uh, like to answer your question, like obviously it's not impossible. Obviously it's not a cakewalk too. If you work hard, if your mind is in the right direction, if you build proper contacts throughout your university journey, if you like try and maintain your CV, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, and each and everything throughout your university journey, like there are people to help you, there are career counselors to help you. So if you are on the right path, you'll definitely end up getting a job. Like uh, I always think like you might get 100 rejections, but all you need is a one yes. So yeah, if you can get that one yes, you have got your job. So yeah, like even if you get 10 rejections, 20 rejections, people start saying, they start like getting annoyed or getting frustrated. But yeah, that's a part of life. You will obviously face rejections time and time again. But yeah, the important thing is like not feeling low and getting up, and yeah, start yeah continuing that process. So yeah, if you are like proactive, if you are even like teachers or professors, so like uh, in New Zealand, one other thing is like everyone wants like a referee or they basically like really call people and ask how is this guy before hiring to their job. And obviously, if it's your first job, whom will you put in as your referee? So yeah, like even professors are very helpful in this part. Like I had a couple of good I had a good rapport with couple of my professors, and I always used to give their names to my employers. So even the company I'm working on in today, they even called a couple of my professors, and yeah, they must have got good feedback. That's why yeah, I'm working for this company now. So yeah, like there's no yes and no answer in this case. It just depends on an individual. But yeah, the right answer is if you are flexible enough, if you are proactive enough, and if you tick all the boxes, you will definitely end up getting a job. It might be 1 month late, it might be 1 month early, but yeah, if you work hard, you'll get a job. That's for sure.
And one thing I really want to point out over here, Nischay, that you went to New Zealand, you did not have a single friend in the country, you did not have a single family member in the country. So what you have achieved, right
Yeah.
from the internship to getting a full-time job, and whatever you have achieved in New Zealand is just a result of how open, how proactive you have been. And like you
Yeah.
said, and I really like how you put it forward, that you might get 100, but you have to just wait for that one yes, and that one
Yeah.
yes is what is important, and you should not put yourself in a position where you start feeling demotivated with those rejections. I'm really
Yeah.
proud of you, Nishay, how you have put these things forward, and I'm very very sure that students and professionals who are looking at coming studying overseas, no matter which country they prefer going to, they will definitely learn a lot from your experience of how proactive and how flexible you have been to make a mark of for yourself in a country which is as welcoming and as open towards international students.
Mhm.
So I just want to ask you, if what will you advise people with an engineering background to actually come and study in New Zealand? Do you think there's
Yes.
an option for engineers to come and study in New Zealand?
Yes, sure. Why not? Like even more than electrical, the construction industry here in New Zealand, like it's like they need a lot of people in construction. So like or civil engineering, which we call it in India. So civil engineering or construction management. So yeah, all of those engineers. Yeah, that is like on the top of the list. My background, it was like electrical, electronics, or telecommunications or computer science. So all of those, like everyone needs people who can like, yeah, do the job basically. So yeah, definitely, sure, why not? And yeah, like if they focus on the right things, like do proper networking, do like even I was shy when I got here. I always used to think like whenever I used to go to networking events, like how will I talk to people? What will I do there? But yeah, like once you do it a couple of times, you get used to it. And even like now I have a full-time job, but still like whenever I'm like I get some extra time during weekends or evenings or whenever. So like I still keep on looking for things. And yeah, lucky like a funny story. So like I found a small software development role, like just like a hourly role. So another thing here in New Zealand is you don't have to like you can do three jobs at a time. You don't have to do just one job if you want, obviously. So yeah, if you find a good role, so I found that good 20 or 30 hour like a fixed term role where the employer wanted to do like a small thing with me, and I helped them out. And afterwards I got to know that that employer, they run like a martial arts classes. So yeah, I got in talking to them, I joined the martial arts, and today I'm also like a yellow belt in martial arts, and I still do those classes. So yeah, like things link up where you don't even expect it to. Like I never thought I'll start doing martial arts, but yeah, today I'm doing it. So yeah, like things like this happen. Like there are lots of coincidences like that, but yeah, if you are in the right direction, these things happen.
That we always encounter as a consultant, and the parents want to know and the students want to know, is the comparison between Canada and New Zealand. Do you have any of your friends from India who have gone to Canada or to any other country to study, and how has your experience been different to theirs?
Uh, like not really, but like I have a lot of friends who are in Europe or in US. I'm not sure about Canada, but yeah, like talking from an experience point of view, like I personally think like everyone has their own journey. Like obviously I'm happy here, there's another person in US who might not get a job, so he might be annoyed. But like there's another person in the same country, in the same university, who has a job, so he might be happy. So again, at the end of the day, like whichever university you go to or whichever country you go to, it just depends on how are you like behaving there, what are you doing there, what is your work lifestyle or what is your study lifestyle. And yeah, if everything is in the right direction, if your mindset is good, then yeah, obviously you will achieve success where it be in New Zealand or in any other country.
Yeah, so very rightly put, Nishay. It is not the country that decides if you will be successful or you will have to come back.
Exactly.
Person how he takes up those decisions, if they are checking all the tick boxes correctly, and if they have the vision to achieve, no matter where you are in the world, you can achieve that, be it Canada or in New Zealand or US, wherever it is possible.
Yeah,
Now we'll go through some very quick questions, Nishan. This will be like targeted towards people who would really want to know from your experience what route they should be taking forward.
sure.
Tell me three things which worked in your favor in New Zealand.
Oh, three things. uh I think number one was like number was what like that is after coming to New Zealand.
And throughout the process, when you decided to study overseas right till today, what are the
Yeah.
three things that you feel ki, these are the three things I did
Yeah.
help me
Yeah.
to
So
success today?
yeah. Yeah. So number one was definitely like meeting you in New Delhi. Yeah. So that has to be on the top of the list. Second number, it's applying for the right jobs at the right time, because I knew there was like a 3 month break coming. So September and October, those 2 months for me was like, even I'll apply for 100 jobs even if I get 100 rejected. So that was my mindset. And even like after I think fifth or sixth job only, I got like this interview and got my job. So that was also very important. Like to summarize it, that's basically like being yeah, again, being proactive, being flexible. So that was number two. And number three is like, even after having a full-time job, you have to further look how you can grow, how you can, yeah, move on to the next level. So yeah, the martial arts example I gave, similarly like with cricket also, like I volunteer for like suburbs cricket club. So I also like get to meet few black caps and a few players through that. And yeah, obviously, like, I'm like a huge cricket fan. So yeah, all of those things like help you reach your goal. So yeah, like those are the 3 points I think I'll highlight.
And what are the three things that you feel that these are the three decisions that I really want to revisit and I could have changed, what I've done today with that, if there are any?
Hmm. Yeah, so number one would be like, I think one thing would be better preparation before coming here. So, like, I remember I just finished my job in like end of June, like the last week of June and second week of July. So I didn't even have 10 days of like time before coming here. And that is really important because that gives you a chance to like talk to students who are already here, plan your accommodation, whatever you have to bring from India and things like that. So that really helps you a lot, even if you come here in the university. If you already have built some sort of friendship or relationship with like 4 or 5 individuals, then that really helps you a lot once you are here. Otherwise you'll have to like figure each and everything ourselves. That was the case with me. So because of lack of time there, yeah, so that is one thing, like I'll buy myself a little more time before coming here, like at least a month or two, or things like that. And second point would be something related to that only. So like basically, regarding accommodation and also, it took me like around a couple of months to find like the place I live in today. So yeah, again, same thing, if I had a little more time, I would have, yeah, sorted these things a lot before. So yeah, I think those are the two. Yeah, like basically it was an impulsive decision on my part before, like to come here, like not to come to New Zealand, but like the things I was going on through in India, like my job. And also, yeah, you need to have like at least a couple of months of planning before coming here, so that yeah, you face less and less issues. Otherwise, yeah, university wise, job wise, I don't think I'll change anything of what I did in like last 2 years.
Would you recommend New Zealand to the new students or professionals who are considering studying overseas?
Yes, definitely. I would, like, especially in these times, everyone wants to be in New Zealand. Like, it's, yeah, like from a COVID perspective, or like in general, like it's, yeah, like I mentioned during the start, it's like the most beautiful country. People are very nice and warm and welcoming, and yeah, like the relationships and the friendships I've developed here, like, yeah, I think I'll cherish them throughout the life, even if it's like, even whenever I come back to India, if I do.
And would you recommend students to consider University of Auckland to study and to connect with Estero New Zealand to make that happen?
Yes, yes, definitely. So yeah, University of Auckland, as you said, like the best university in New Zealand. So yeah, if you have graduated from there, so yeah, people, the employers look up to you, and yeah, if you have performed well there, they really think, yeah, like you can do well. So yeah, that's very important. And yeah, obviously, as I mentioned, like as we talked through during the call, like it's very important to give that initial support, initial help, and yeah, you guys give like end-to-end support, each and everything, whether it be the university application, visas, and yeah, answering all the questions which students have. And yeah, even I remember I must have asked over 100 questions to you guys before coming here.
Just to wrap it up before we let some of our audience ask questions if they have,
Yeah.
three words that come to your mind when we say New Zealand.
Oh, three words. Oh, I, I think one can be, yeah, it's like an heaven's paradise, as everyone says. And yeah, right place, right time. I got to be in New Zealand. And yeah, and yeah, like if I have got a chance to choose between some countries, I'll definitely go for New Zealand.
And what would come to your mind as soon as we say University of Auckland?
University of Auckland. Yeah, it was basically an unparalleled experience.
And what about Estero? What comes to your mind when we talk about Estero?
Yeah, again, like it was lucky being at that festival in New Delhi, because yeah, that's because of Estro only I got through here.
Great, Nisha. It was really lovely talking to you, and I'm sure the kind of things that you have said they mean a lot, and they will definitely help a lot of professionals who wish to study in New Zealand or at the University of Auckland, or they're just looking at studying overseas. I will open the
Yep, thank you. Yeah.
anyone who wants to ask whatever questions they want to Nischay. We'll have like 5 to 10 minutes available over here. So if you have any questions, please put these in the Q&A box, and we will be happy to answer.